Yeah, so welcome everyone to this session. So this is for like the primitive section, but the topic we're going to talk about is the lead is talking about your self-awareness with your strengths. So I hope you're already done with your like the Gallup strengths test already. But before we begin, we will also have some icebreakers and also have some small game with everyone. So I will invite my lovely CC, Kun CC, to like elaborate what is the process, and also we can play some like the checking games.
Okay, so yeah, thank you, Tony. So this is going to be a small ice breaker. So let's break some ice, and it will sound a bit stupid, but it will be interesting. Okay, so this is like a number game. So it is like you have to count from 1 to 20. So each person will tell one number. So for example, if I say 1, another person has to say 2, but you cannot say it at the same time. So if you say 2 at the same time, you have to begin from the beginning. So for example, now we are at 19. So two people say 19 together. So you have to start from 1 once again. So you have to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 likewise. So if I say 1, another person 2, then I can see 3, or another person 4. You cannot say 1 and 2 together. Just 1, another person 2, another person 3, and so likewise. But you cannot say the same number at the same time. So you have to look at the others, whether the other person is going to say the number or not, and then you have to say the number. Tony, can we like get the slides out and have the like the people on the background so that it will be.
Sorry?
Can we have can we stop sharing and the slides?
Oh yeah, can.
Cool. Yeah, perfect. So yes, so you have to count from 1 to 20. So yes, anyone can start with number 1.
1, 2,
3,
4,
5,
6,
7,
8, 9,
11,
12.
12.
Oh, you have to
So we just start again.
yeah, 1,
2,
3, 4, 5,
6,
7, 8, 9,
10,
11,
12,
13,
14,
15,
16. Fuck.
okay, so you say 15. I think we can go to the session, yeah, Tony? Otherwise,
Okay,
we'll
thank you,
take the whole
Susie.
day.
No worry, but you know, like your predecessor, like they come to like, yeah, we also played the same game like yesterday, and they come to like around 7 and they clash, and then the next level is at 8 and they clash. Yeah, pretty tough. But hope like you can build out your some of the small like cooperation in the future. But yeah, let's get back to our session. Thank you, my lovely CC. Yeah, I asked them to design some ice-breaking games. Cool. So let's get back to the session. So today's topic we're talking about self-awareness. Is talk about MCPe elect lead. So I don't know if you have the strengths report yet, but no worry. Today we'll also discover more about these topics. So yeah, I will officially introduce myself. My name is Tony Lu, and I'm your AP Asia Pacific Regional Manager of ED in 2021. And I was MCP of 1920 in ASEAN Taiwan. So really, it's my honor to be here and also be this session with all of you. Throw back to the time when I was MCP in elect, the time in 2019 when I was in Indonesia. Yeah, it's really great memories over there. But yeah, just want to ask about how is your feeling when you become an MCP elect and get into this TLC. I know maybe like everyone's the first time to be an MCP elect. So just want to check how is your feeling. You can type in the chat room and let me know how is your feeling so far. Been through the 3 days already. Maybe you are not ready. You are the person, maybe your feels about like, I feel still have a lot of things to do. You even like, maybe you got elected for 1 day before the TLC, you just get there and say, who am I, why am I here? And we'll have enough applicants for MCEPs. I know some of you are also going into the selection process with the MCEPs. Maybe you're worried about if you can get enough applicants. That's a whole conversation I also had in the IP and say, I'm worried about like, if I can get all the positions there, will I make friends? Maybe some of you are good to know your teammates and also have like really scared about making new friends. You want to stay into your comfort zone and also like I don't want to chat. But also some people you're also really excited to meet your friends there. And also I don't want to fuck it up. We want to be a really good MCP elect and also to lead your entity in the future. So you don't fuck it up and make sure everyone's well prepared. As a check in the chat room. Excited plus scared. Thank you, Ali. And yeah, nervous. For sure you're nervous, you're scared, excited, amazing, interesting, and nervous at the same time. No worry, I think every time we're not always easy to become an MCP and it's all the first time. So for sure you feel really nervous. But hope that for sure next year when you become current, you'll bring your elects here in the TLC somewhere and you'll feel like, oh, I'm mature as a adult and I'm already become the MCPs there. And right now, I would like to give you some time to reflect and also you can share. You can bring one of your notes or even your phone to make sure type some notes here. And I will give you around like some songs to ask this question below. So make sure you can take some note of it and we can share with each other later. So right now, I will give you one song and also to play. The first question is what has happened since you got elected? So since you know what a pros on you and you before you get into TLC, I think you already experienced some journey as MCP elected. Even though you have a transition talk with the current and also have some preparation about this part. So what has happened since you got elected?
I look up from the ground to see your sad and teary eyes. You look away from me and I see there's something you're trying to hide. And I reach for your hand but it's cold. You pull away again and I wonder what's on your mind. And then you say to me you made a dumb mistake. You start to tremble and your voice begins to break. You say the cigarettes on the counter weren't your friends, they were my mates. And I feel the color draining from my face. And my friend said, I know you love her, but it's over, mate. It doesn't matter, put the phone away. It's never easy to walk away. Let her go, it'll be alright. So I still look back at all the messages you'd sent. And I know it wasn't right, but it was fucking with my head. And everything deleted like the past year it was gone. And when I touched your face I could tell you're moving on. But it's not the fact that you kissed him yesterday. It's the feeling of betrayal that I just can't seem to shake. And everything I know tells me that I should walk away, but I just wanna stay. And my friend said, I know you love her, but it's over, mate. It doesn't matter, put the phone away. It's never easy to walk away. Let her go, it'll be okay. It's gonna hurt for a bit of time. So bottoms up, let's forget tonight. You find another and you'll be just fine. Let her go. Past like time, and they can't steal the love you're born to find, but nothing here.
Yeah, I think some of you are ready. The next question will be, what are you the most excited about in your future as an MCP? For example, you want to go to select your team, you want to dream to have a really good, amazing planning output. You are thinking about what kind of change you want to bring into this entity. So what are you most excited about?
that pass like time, and they can't steal the love you're born to find. I know you love her, but it's over, mate. It doesn't matter, put the phone away. It's never easy to walk away. Let her go, it'll be okay. It's gonna hurt for a bit of time. So bottoms up, let's forget tonight. You find another and you'll be just fine. Let her go, it'll be alright. It'll be alright. It'll be alright. It'll be alright. It'll be alright.
When it's not always raining, there'll be days like this. When there's no one complaining, there'll be days like this. When everything...
Amazing. So what is the biggest fear? Like being an MCP, when the water pulls you down and you just realize, oh, I'm an MCP elect already. I can't lead the 21-20 generation. For sure, you have something you're afraid, have some fear inside. So what is your biggest fear so far as MCP?
falls into place like the flick of a switch. Well, my mama told me there'll be days like this, when you don't need to worry. There'll be days like this, when no one's in a hurry. There'll be days like this, when you don't get betrayed by that old Judas kiss. Well, my mama told me there'll be days like this, when you don't need an answer. There'll be days like this, when you don't need a chancer. There'll be days like this, when all the parts of the puzzle start to look like they fit you. Oh, I must remember there'll be days like this, when everyone is up front and they're not playing tricks here, when you don't have no freeloaders out to get their kicks in, when it's nobody's business the way that you want to live. I just have to remember there'll be days like this, when no one steps on my dreams. There'll be days like this, when people understand what I mean. There'll be days like this, when you ring out the changes of how everything is. Oh, my mama told me there'll be days like this.
Okay, the next one. So what are the strengths and MCP in your entities right now? For sure, like some entities, they really need like basic developer for the direction. They just need some courage to believe in the future we can make positive impact. Or we are the person we need to be more analytical, and also or need to become more reasonable to make sure we make the all decision really careful, make a proper decision in the future. So just let me know, what are the strengths and MCP in your entities right now?
My mama told me there'll be days like this. Oh, my mama told me there'll be days like this.
Now and then your name comes up in conversation with my friends. I hate how much I feel it right there in my chest. I hate how much I feel it, yeah. Like, how are you? It seems like things are going really well. I've tried to bring you back to me. I've tried my best to find some kind of peace. Don't you see? There's a big black hole where my heart used to be, and I tried my best to fill it up with things I don't need. It don't work like that. No, it's not easy to fill this gap that you left in me. There's a big black hole where my heart used to be, and I wish that you would realize I'm all that you need. It don't work like that. No, it's not easy to fill this gap that you left in me. Without a trace, you disappeared and took some of me with you, babe. Like the way I used to laugh until my belly ached. Well, that's all gone away now, yeah. And boy, you know I've tried to pray, I bruised my knees. I've tried to bring you.
Okay, and the final question. What are your strengths and do they match with the entity needs? Maybe you'll think about, oh, I'm definitely become the leaders to lead this entity because all the strengths are matched. But sometimes we feel about, okay, I think sometimes I can improve or something didn't match, but I still can learn from it. Let me know what is your strengths and also do they match with the entity needs right now?
Back to me, I've tried my best to find some kind of peace. Don't you see? There's a big black hole where my heart used to be, and I tried my best to fill it up with things I don't need. It don't work like that. No, it's not easy to fill this gap that you left in me. There's a big black hole where my heart used to be, and I wish that you would realize I'm all that you need. It don't work like that. No, it's not easy to fill this gap that you left in me. Such a big black hole. There's a big black hole where my heart used to be, and I've tried my best to fill it up with things I don't need. It don't work like that. No, it's not easy to fill this gap that you left in me. There's a big black hole where my heart used to be, and I wish that you would realize I'm all that you need. It don't work like that. No, it's not easy to fill this gap that you left in me. I've spent way too much time moving on. Tried a couple of therapists, even got rid of some stuff. It's like my mind got a mind of its own. 'Cause I've been busy getting over someone. It's not like my brain's not rising every time you get too close. It's not like I can't imagine losing myself in your arms. It's not like my skin isn't long enough to the weight of your touch. It's what if I mess this up?
Okay, seems most everyone are done already. So then, yeah, so later I will send you to the breakouts. I think it's a good and safe space that you are actually electing together to share what's the question, your answer, and also what things come in your mind. So I will ask my lovely CC to open the breakout with all of you and see you guys there. CC, it's okay for the breakout?
Yeah.
Amazing. You're okay. Did you get
I think what I loved the most about this talk was that all of us sort of were in the same situation. Like all of us are going through transitioning right now, and all of us are really just excited about what's going to happen. A lot of us are thinking about doing new things in our entity, and we're really just thinking how to, make it all happen. But while we're excited, we're also very scared. Like when it came to the biggest fear part, I think the conclusion all of us had was we're actually very scared about the fact that we have a lot of different fears that we don't know how to deal with. So it's a very weird situation to be in. And when it came to strengths, I think most of us really just thought of things like, being able to manage operations really well, and someone who can really just give the entity a direction, and someone who can make people really believe that ISEC can exist and ISEC should exist no matter what happens in the world, or whatever is happening in the country. So that's something we learned today.
Thank you, Ellie. That's amazing sharing. I give you AP heart. Okay, yeah. So I think like for sure, like we're here still have a lot of things stuck in our mind, but we're here to make sure this organization can still exist in our entity, right? We make sure like the leadership is still happening, the impact still happening in your entity. So yeah, maybe the problem is hard to solve, but we are not here to stay for 1 year to solving the problem. We're here to like create more impacts and also lead our direction happen. But thank you for sharing. For sure, we have like more experience in the following 1 year. Anyone want to share? I can still open for one more slot to share in this space. Who wanna go?
I can share so that it's Ellie and Ali. So honestly, a part of our conversation was kind of grieving over the fact that we're not meeting each other physically. Like we kind of like went with the flow when we were sharing about the experience, and like how like I find them so wild because they're like LCPs, or we're just LCPs, and then they have to juggle being an MCP elect. And I was terrified when I was an LCP thinking of the MC. So hats off to them, really. And I guess one of the things that I appreciated from that is like the kind of vulnerability of how we're all not super ready for the things that we're going to go through. So like let's say for Shuhei, he's going to be starting his term next month already. And even for me, if me and I think Andrea as well from Hong Kong. If we're going to be starting in like July, so like I'm not ready for this, but at least it's good to have like this kind of support system, with people that we're not alone with, since usually the MCP role or even LCP role is quite lonely. So I think that's really one of the highlights from our group. Yeah.
Thank you, Ali, for sharing. That's exactly good like Japan. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no worry, we all ready to become the MCP current in the following like 5 months. Just need more preparation. So yeah, so we are here to talk about the strengths, right? So talking about the strengths, why work with your strengths? Maybe sometimes we'll think about, okay, you already know what is the strength, but like why you still need to keep in your mind, or even why this strength will also like become your part to focus on. Especially for Asian people, like I think Asian people like sometimes we feel like the self like doubt, or even like we are not really confident about what is our strengths we have. But sometimes we are being the MCP, the strength's most important part. So throw back to the strengths test I had. I just rechecked again because I also took this survey 1 year ago when I was in IP in Russia. This is my 5 strengths: positivity, ideation, empathy, and individualization. So when I talk about strengths, I received this report. I just realized the reason why I'm becoming MCP and I'm really proud of like being in this position with my strength is like I'm the person who can bring the possibility to this entity, especially in Taiwan where like we Chinese people, we are in East Asian. Like sometimes we feel like stress, feel really lots of like the self-doubts about ourselves. Sometimes we feel about okay, we are not confident enough to become a leader in the future. But I'm here to tell everyone that we can be, even though we are a really small island country, but we still can be part of the small island entity. We still can be part of the global plenary to showcase everyone that we are Taiwanese. We're proud of it. So I think that's the strength I own as the MCP to bring into this entity. But also some of the strengths when I bring to my team. For sure, the positivity is really like important, especially in the COVID situation happening. We don't know what's the future, what's the thing we need to have. So at that moment, I'm the person who can give the confidence to my team that believe that they can make it and we can take it forward. But also take into another two part of the strength. I'm the who ideation person. Who means that like sometimes the people like who willing to share or really practice to interact with the people, even though like sometimes it's really awkward space. So the people who won't feel like really uncomfortable or even like they are willing to approach others. So taking about the who ideation person as my strength. When I talk with my team, sometimes I feel really like challenging because like my team is more reasonable and they will really want to see more reality space or even more like the things that we need to be more careful about each decision we're making. But I'm always a person who look into the future, who look into what other direction we're going to drive. But sometimes these strengths also hurts me a lot, or even struggle, make me so struggling about how can I lead my team moving forward. If I just focus on telling ideation or even like this kind of part, but then my team feels we're not ready for it. It doesn't make sense. I think it's not realistic. So these are the things maybe we will also have a conflict when we talk about strengths. But no matter what, like the strength portfolio is all about like the two sides, you know. Sometimes we can own our strengths, but also sometimes the strengths may not really like good for it. But we need to realize and understand ourselves more. So then, what work with the strengths? For example, like if you have the starting point, and if it's not your strength, and then you need to take lots of effort to achieve of it. For example, maybe you are not a person who really data driven, or you're not a person who really like analytical. So it would take lots of time to become this part of person. But what if you understand your strength? You can take less time, you can take less of effort to use this strength to move forward to achieve your direction. For example, maybe you're not a person who really like to do analytical things, but if you have other strengths about empowering other people, or you really look at the like some visualization stuff, maybe these kind of strengths can let you know how you can push. You still need to drive the data, you need to check the result there, but you can use different types of way to achieve the same vision. So we are not here to talk about, okay, you're MCP. You are the person you need to be more like the strategic, you need to be more reasonable, like these kind of things out there. But nowadays, we are focused on what kind of strengths can drive you the results to be in the really qualified MCP. So that's the reason why the strength test like matters. And also this is the reason why I want to bring to this space as MCP like when you receive the report. How can you take all the things moving forward? So yeah, what does the test look like? So it's based on 40 years research made up for 34 talents. So you have 34 strengths in the result of the report. But it's a beginning part. So you only receive the 5 strengths in your site. If you want to like understand your 34 strengths, you need to buy more. Yeah. So you need to pay by yourself. But at least you can understand about what kind of strengths you have. And also this is based to identify talents that can be applied in many areas of life, including relationship, academics, leadership, and careers. So in this strength report, it's not only reflect how you do as a leaders in ISEC, but also it reflects you how to make the relationship, how you make your career, how you make your leadership matters in every aspect. And then, yeah, 18 plus male, people have taken the assessment. So million of people already take the assessment, and also one in like 27,000 people with the same top 5 strengths. So you are unique. That I just checked the result with everyone. I can show you later. So everyone are really unique in this global panel, even in ISEC or even out of ISEC. So maybe you can find some similar part. You can get approach each other to let everyone know how you can use other strengths to move forward. So one in the 33 million people with the same top 5 strengths in the same order. And then these are guiding principle. So first, the things are neutral and things are not labels. So don't see these strengths as okay, you are this type of person, because it's our neutral behavior. And also difference are an advantage. So just look into what kind of difference we have, and also people need one another. We're the MCP elects here. We're the whole team will need to lead Asia Pacific moving forward. And also we are a really good support system for each other. So this is a good way to understand about each other's strengths and also what kind of things you can talk about and also to approach each other's. And then I'll elaborate what are the 4 categories we have and in each strength you have. So you can take some notes or you can check the output of the folder. when we send me like the assessment output. But yeah, for sure you can see that what other things, what are strengths you are looking for, or even what the strengths you have already. So first type of people, they are really executing people. People who dominate executing things to know how to make the things happen. So usually this kind of the person that have more responsibility, that have more achievement, make sure everything have a result in different kind of perspective. So maybe these people will be more consistency, be more focused. These are the strengths that executing people, these category people have. Secondly, influencing. People with dominant influencing things to know how to take change, speak up, and make sure all the thing is heard. So usually these people, they are be more like the public speech person, or these people are really good at communication. So maybe you're an activator, you're a maximizer, your self-assurance, your significance, your these kind of strengths you have in your own. You can start to guessing that in your MCPe electing, who are the person with this type of strength, who are the more executing person, or more influencing person. And the third part is relationship building. So people who with dominant relationship building things have the ability to build stronger relationship, that can hold a team together and make the team better in the sum of these parts. So usually it's a person that they have empathy, harmony, including relator, positivity. So these people will more focus on how can we make sure the environment, the relationship we have can ensure these relationship can manage well. And these people are good at managing relationship. And final part will be strategic thinking. So people with dominant strategic thinking things have things to consider what could be, and the absorb analysis information we can inform better decisions. So with these types of strength person, maybe sometimes you will be more analytical, you will be ideation, more futuristic, more input intelligence, or strategic person. So these are the 4 categories about your strengths. And I can show you about like how the Gallup reports look like. And then I'll show you that in this MCP elective, what the strengths we have together. So this is my like the Gallup assess of the Cleveland strength. You can log in with your IC.name with the password. So don't forget to change your username and password here. In the first part, you can check what are the 5 main like the strengths you have. So for me, I'm positive, ideation, empathy, individualization. And this part, you can see that what are the like the categories you have. So yeah, for sure, I'm not really good at executing. Oh, so shallow. So true. Okay, another part is influencing. So influencing is more about like and also relationship building part and also strategic thinking. So in this part, you can clearly know what types of person you are most of the part you look like, and also what kind of strengths you can use in the future. And then you have a report part. They have the thing report and insight guide. When you download this report, you can also see what are the key elements you can have here. When you check the details, right, you will realize that, oh my God, how true is it? What types of person you have. But don't forget, don't be afraid of it, or don't think about, okay, I'm the person who already let let other people knows me. But these are your strengths. These are your strengths you need to own, take the ownership, and you live in your future life. Of course, the strengths will be changed, but in this type of part, it's a natural behavior. So that's the reason why it reflects your strengths you have. Another part is about the report guide. So this guiding report will let you know about like what are the description you have, what are the questions that guides you to think about it deeper. So I will read your personalization inside, what words based, what understand out of you. So once you read all the things here, the context here, you can think about what strengths I own, how can I use it in the future, and also to make sure all things can be done there. So taking back to here, I will also show you based on the output we have. So this is the checkpoint I checked by last night. And also done like to check all the response here and also to check your strengths here. So right now, I will give you around 3 minutes. Feel free to tap in the chat room. You can look into what's your teammates, their strengths have. And you can think about, okay, as the MCPs in Asia Pacific, what is a common point we have? Or what are the weaknesses? What are the strengths we didn't show a lot, or what are the strengths we have most? And then what kind of things you want to learn from others? So you can have a space to think about it, and also we can text some realization into your chat room. So I give you one song, and you can text anything, any realization, anything you found in the chat room, and we can share together.
You cut out a piece of me, and now I bleed internally. Left here without you, without you. And it hurts for me to think about what life could possibly be like without you, without you. I can't believe that you would have believed me. Fuck all of your reasons. I lost my shit, you know I didn't mean it. Now I see it. You run and repeat it, and I can't take it back. So in the past is where we'll leave it. So there you go. Oh, can't make a wife out of a hoe. Oh, I'll never find the words to say I'm sorry, but I'm scared to be alone. You cut out a piece of me, and now I bleed internally. Left here without you, without you. And it hurts for me to think about what life could possibly be like without you, without you. Oh, oh, wow, oh, oh, wow, oh, oh, wow, oh, oh, wow. Without you, without you. Oh, oh, wow, oh, oh, wow, oh, oh, wow, oh, oh, wow. Without you, without you. It's gonna be hard here on my own, and even harder to let you go. I really wish that we could've got this right. So here I go. Oh, can't make a wife out of a hoe. Oh, I'll never find the words to say I'm sorry, but I'm scared to be alone. You cut out a piece of me, and now I bleed internally. Left here without you, without you. And it hurts for me to think about what life could possibly be like without you, without you. Oh, oh, wow, oh, oh, wow, oh, oh, wow, oh, oh, wow. Without you, without you.
Okay, I saw really some really funny chat here. And welcome the rest of MCPe, like you're here. And cool. So I think like some people they mentioned about we are the team is more about relationship building, or we are like more like the more about like interacting with other people and that kind of strategy thinking strength. And yeah, I think some of the point we had, but it's fine. Like we are also diverse, right? We're not like to think about like the what general we have, but also we can look into it. If we are thinking about more strategic part, maybe we can approach our firm, or like we can get more like context or info part and the tactical part. We can go to Sweden from Cambodia, so you can check into like what other things you can learn from each other. Because we're here not only to focus on what other strengths we have, or we're here to share with each other and how we can collaborate together and learn together. Because MCP don't have lots of like the competition with each other. Usually we're here to like learn and also to how to lead our entity better. So feel free, and also I will keep this part. I think some of you didn't upload it yet, but no worry. I will like once I have everyone's here, I will also put into MCP summary, so you can keep it once you have something like challenging or even some parts you are really lack of, and just look at this part. You can feel free to approach that person, but don't label that person like okay, because these people don't have strategy part. I don't think he's really good at strategies or something like this. So make sure this is strength at their own. It doesn't mean that they don't have other parts of the strength. Cool. So yeah, how do your strengths change when you are at your best and at your worst version? So this is another question I want to ask you. The strengths test here is not only just mentioned about, okay, what types of strengths we have, and it's always the best part. Sometimes it can also lead to the worst part, right? So yeah, so there's a balcony when you are strengths at their best version and basement. When are your strengths at their worst version? So now, you can think about, reflect about what kind of your strengths you have, and also what happened in the past. You did your strengths the best version you had, and also the worst time you had in the previous of years. So maybe you can think about what happened in the previous of time. So yeah, so this is a question I will, later I will review the results, and also I will share you with this link, and to think about, you can have some discussion about this part. So let me tap the link here. So you have more elaboration about each types of the strings. Okay. Sorry. Okay, I think you can get the link there. So it shows like all the contests we have at the strengths test. But yeah, so right now I'll give you around like the 5 to 10 minutes to think about least 5 questions below. So what are your top 5 strengths and how do they behave in your balcony and basement? How can you use your strengths in your room? What do you still need to do in order to the best use of your strengths? And based on your strengths test, what will be your leadership style? What strengths does the team need in order to complement to you? So feel free to check the contest and also to look back to your strengths test results to think about these 5 questions. How will they affect your team in the future? So I'll give you 2 songs and you can think about it and also to write it down on your notes.
Went to the wrong school, wearing the wrong shoes. They told me that I should sit down and just bite my tongue. Cause if you're lucky, you'll get to university, say 3 Hail Marys, and everything bad will be gone. But I'm so tired of standing still, and I'm not buying what you're trying to sell. So don't wake me up if you're only gonna tell me to give it up. Then say everything I do is never enough. Cause you're lying through your teeth. We don't fit into your boxes. We're all different underneath. Don't wake me up. When I got my first guitar, my father told me, son, 4 chords is all you need to show people just who you are. So I played to strangers down by the back streets, and every time they caught me dreaming, I'd say, don't wake me up if you're only gonna tell me to give it up. Then say everything I do is never enough. Cause you're lying through your teeth. We don't fit into your boxes. We're all different underneath. Don't wake me up. Well, don't wake me up. Cause I'm so tired of standing still, and I'm not buying what you're trying to sell. So don't wake me up.
This wasn't how it's supposed to go. I should be the one you're dancing with, spinning with a vodka coke. Everybody at my fingertips. I was gonna get my code, and baby you were meant to follow me, and I was gonna act surprised, even though I know you wanted me. It's not like I've been crying, no. There's just smoke in my eyes. Cause this ain't no John Hughes movie where the girl gets the guy. You look right through me every time you walk by. I keep waiting for the heartbreak music that's never gonna come. Cause if you don't want me, then you're not the one.
Okay, seems like everyone almost ready. So yeah, I will bring you to another breakout, and later on you still have around 10 minutes to share. I think right now, this time I will give you around like 12 minutes to share about what are your realization. For people, if you didn't take the strength test, it's okay. You still can share, or based on your observation, based on other feedback you have, you can also get to know with other people first. But then, like, we'll also ask Carol if you can get the strength test in the future. For sure, we can also get like everyone's like our strength test there and to understand more. Still have a chance, mate. Okay, good. So later on, Consistency, can you help me to create a breakout?
Yeah,
And
done.
we'll send everyone there. Yeah, just open it and see you guys in 12 minutes. So sharing your tribe, your group, and also what things you just realized as MCPe elect together. So I'll give a chance to for 2 people. If you feel free to want to share, you can share.
Yeah, I can share, Tony. Wait,
Go, Michael. Amazing.
Hello. Fun fact, me and Tony have like 3 of the top 5 strengths similar. So anyway. So one of my strengths is like, let me think. Communication, for example. I'll use a different one. I'll use activator. I'll use the same example because I can't think of anything else right now. And that's like a double-edged sword sometimes. I think, because I've done this test like six months ago already. So something that I tried to do, for example, with activator, I have the will to try random things. So I'll put out some initiative, some task force out of nowhere. It'll be cool. I'll have all the energy because that energizes me and gets me going. But it's also like, I don't have the tendency to actually think about how to do this properly. So for example, I wanted to have a space where the network could give feedback to the MC and communicate when it's COVID, no? And I put it out and no one attends for like 3 weeks straight, like it sucks. And that's because I never thought about how to market it properly or like how to kind of make it maximize the effectiveness of the space. And I just wanted to put it out there. And so I think for me, it's really a matter of like accepting these strengths, but also accepting as well the negative tendencies that come with it. For example, like just because I'm a woo and people kind of might find it easier to talk to me, but it doesn't mean that I can't lean on that. I still have to be very authentic and try and have meaningful conversation when the opportunity presents itself. Things like that. I also thought about team composition, but that's a whole like different thing. But basically my thought is I don't know whether to have a balanced strengths or to have strengths that amplify each other and that are like the same. I don't know though. So those are my sharings. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I think it's always hard, like when you're balancing like all the things together, especially like sometimes you feel lost as MCP. Like, I do have this strength, but like, what can I put into the team? Also, like team will put expectation, right? Like they will label you about, okay, if you're an MCP, you have this kind of strength, and how can you like implement of it and make sure like this is what they expect you as an MCP. But sometimes you just think about like, what is some neutral behavior you have, and also how can we make sure to put these our strengths properly into like into the things we're focusing, into the team management, into all things there. So just don't think it really complicated. Sometimes just thinking about, okay, what is the thing we have, and just tell them something I cannot control. It is something I'm not going to do well. That's the reason why I have a team here. But also to remind us, thinking we can learn from each other as an MC team together, as an MCP team together. So this is the thing we can try to improve together. But don't just look about what we don't have, but also focus on what we have and also to use it in the best way. Thank you, Michael. And who want to share? I still have another person. VJ, you want to go?
Oh, yes. Hello, everybody.
Type 1.
Can you hear me? I hope so. Oh, perfect. Hope everyone's having a great day so far, or an evening, or an afternoon. But yeah, this is the thing, which is these set of questions, I think they've, even when we were discussing just now, gave us another set of questions, which is, I'll just answer these first, and then probably we can get into that. But yeah, now when we talk about the top 5 strengths and how do they actually behave in terms of balcony and basement, particularly one thing that I've realized is when everything that we read in terms of balcony or basement is absolutely true for every individual when you talk about these particular characteristics, right? But something that I figured while I was working on these questions is the question, which is how much is too much? Any particular strength, if you try extending it past what was required, tends to become the tends to become the basement instead of the balcony. And I think the balcony and basement technically coexist at the same time based on the validation that's also there from the external source, because usually you feel like you're going in one direction until you receive some feedback in terms of what's required. I mean, basically, I might throw a few more questions here because based on what we were discussing so far, it just felt like on a weekly basis, at least for the MCP elects, our strengths and our leadership styles have been changing so far. It has definitely has been the case with me, at least during the selection process so far. And if that's going to be the case, then that means let's say every month, there's going to be 2 types of leadership styles that I'm going to have and a different set of strengths that I'll probably embody through the entire month, right? But yeah, so I mean, that was a little intriguing when I was thinking about that, which is very interesting. I wanted to talk to you, ask you in terms of what's the frequency in terms of how often do we take the tests and evaluate it, because then we'd have a continuous momentum of how we're going. But yeah, now what strength does my team need in order to complement me is basically, I'm a little curious because this question got me a little off guard in terms of, okay, how soon will I be changing and how do I cope with that? How does the team cope with that? So I'm still in a bunch of these questions to understand how that works, but it's been a great exercise so far. But yeah.
Thank you, Vijay. Yeah, I also agree about like the keep like monitoring, also to observe ourselves and how we improve better. But for sure, we can only do this test once because you need to pay. But also we have other kind of resource or even like other types of the things I can share with you later about what kind of the like quite similar tests. But I think in different question, of course, they will shows different types of result. But it's not only talk about like how much time we need to take the result and we need to take as more as possible, but it's more about like when you realize you have these strengths, right? And what should be focused on and what are things you can think about, okay, this is the thing I can do better, do well, but these are the things I need to think about. How am I as an MCP? How can I improve my team, push my team to do it, and also to empower the team, the network can work it better. Because in the end of the day, we are the manager role. And all the things we are here to focus on, like how can we put our strengths and also to the things we want to learn and keep improving as MPC in daily practice. So really amazing like sharing space with everyone here. And yeah, I can share about like some of strengths that you can share with the team. It's for free, but I think it's quite good. Like it's a good space you can ask your team to do it together, and then you realize that strengths you own together. Of course, you have like if your entity have budget, you can also pay the test and ask the team to do it. But for sure, like I think it's a good way to know your team deeper and also know how to use your leadership style, use your strengths to implement your team in the future. Yes. So part I want to share with you is this is my team. The picture is showing on there when I was MCP. This is our first national conference. So that's the first touch when I do realize about like what types of leader I am and what kind of accountability system I can ask for other people in my team. So at the moment, like we are holding the national conference. So I'm always really like the people who always dream a lot, also think all the things moving forward. So in this like the conference agenda, we do the 3 years planning for this entity in the future. At that moment, like most of my team it feels about, can we do that? Why we need to do this? Like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't like reasonable. Like once we dream about the 3 years in the entity, and then what's happening next? So that's a question pop in their mind. Of course, I also doubt myself. Like I'm not always a person who read analytical. I'm not a person who reads smart. Back then, sometimes I just tell them about what I care about and also the reason why I'm singing for MCP. I just want to see the big picture about this organization going forward. We are not here to solve the problem, solve the solution. Of course, my team are really good at deal with the problem, deal with all the things there. That's the reason why they are being there and also to lead this function to change. But I want to let them know about if we keep dealing the problem, solving the question all the time, and then this entity cannot improve. That's the reason why we need to bring the bigger picture to this entity. And then once we do this past international conference, and I just realized that my team gave me the feedback is about they haven't seen the people like with sparkling eyes and also really feel committed into the entity picture or entity direction. So that's the reason why they feel really like feel confidence or even feel like really safe when they get into this space. I'm just realized sometimes you feel like you need to balance how you can put your strengths on, and also you need to balance about okay, what are the things like how can we persuade the team members to move in the strategy forward, move in this direction forward. Sometimes of course you have a conflict. But enough for the day to thinking about what kind of strengths you have Maybe you are not a person who dream a big picture, but you are a person who can provide more precise data, precise like information for them to make a better decision. So thinking about what are the things that this entity needed and what kind of strengths you can really put into this entity and move this entity forward. So this is based on so this time's for real. And also I hope these strengths you can keep in your mind and also like to keep have a conversation with each other because these MCPe electing are the whole support system with all of you and you can learn from each other to improve. So it's the previous time you can share it together. So yeah, I think that's all of my session parts of it. So feel free to let me know if you have any question about like this strengths report or even you want to like approach with other people to talk about it. I also make the final session of it. Yeah, I think that's all of this session and later on you'll have 2 hours break time. You can also feel free to relax, have your lunch or dinner. And yeah, and I think your current MCPe that have our spaces there. So if you want to join there, feel free to approach Sarah and then like to let her know if you want to join. Okay, so people have a great time and see you in a global prime time. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye, people.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
Tony.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Tony.